In my travels over the last few years, I have been completely overwhelmed by some of the incredible wines and incredible things that I am seeing in so many different regions. And this particular episode that we featured this wine in is really about that. All of the things that I'm super, super excited about. And I think this wine represents something that I haven't really stopped talking about for the last 2 years. We're going to squeaky for a second. Um, and that is Chardonnay from Oregon. I went up to Oregon about 2 years ago, maybe more than that now. And it was my first visit to Willamette Valley. I was completely blown away, had a great time. But I came away with one particular revelation, which was that in Oregon, obviously, we love our Pinot. Pinot is wonderful. It's great. It's delicious. It is what Oregon became famous for. But my takeaway was that Chardonnay kind of stole the show. And that's what we have here. We have a 2021 Chardonnay from Oregon called atLarge. And this one in particular is pretty darn special because this is not a wine you're going to see just anywhere. Um, this is actually being produced by our friend Keith Emerson, maker of Vineyard 29, 100-point winemaker, I should add. This is a personal project that he is doing in Oregon that I think is wonderful with his wife, Holly. And when Lara Coffer, love me some Lara Coffer, when Lara Coffer said, hey, we have this Oregon Chardonnay and it's really delicious. And it's made by Keith Emerson. I was like, I think that we might have a winner for this episode because of the things that I'm excited about. This is number one on my list. So this is not your Chardonnay that is going to be light and fluffy. This is going to be all the things. It's not overwhelming, but it's not going to be a shy Chardonnay. So I hope you're ready for it. This is a Chardonnay that I think is super, super special, and I'll tell you why it's special, and I'll tell you why I fell in love with Oregon Chardonnay in the first place. So the nose, I mean, immediately you should be like, wait, am I in Burgundy? Am I in California? Where am I? It should be confusing. If you're trying to blind this wine, it should be confusing. To me, that was Oregon Chardonnay. You kind of have the best of both worlds. You have this great sort of minerality, this like sea spray going on. The fruit is giving you like Meyer lemon. It's giving you a little bit of that like tart flavor, but it's also giving you something sun-kissed, right? It's not super ripe. It's not super tart. It's somewhere in between. And to me, it was the sweet spot across Oregon, especially in the Willamette Valley, that I was finding when I was tasting Chardonnay. So on the nose, you should be getting all of that great Meyer lemon. You should be getting all of that great minerality, that sea spray, that oyster shell. And of course, your apple, right? When we're talking about Chardonnay, it's orchard fruit central and a little bit of citrus thrown in there. So you have your apple, a little bit more on the Granny Smith side. You've got a little bit of pear in there as well. But then wait for the magic to happen, because do you feel that texture? Do you feel like the weight and like that thickness that's on your palate, and then how it just sort of like floats upwards? This is the magic of not only great winemaking when it comes to Chardonnay, but also great terroir, great fruit. And this is coming from an incredible vineyard, Domaine Lubejac's vineyard, which sits right on that 45th parallels. And it's a vineyard that is widely sought after by some other really incredible, well-known producers up there, notably Morgan Long, Walter Scott, really, really incredible producers. And I think for me, the site really shows. I think it really shows in the lift of this wine, the density of this wine, because they didn't have to pick early to get that acidity because they have so much of that great development in the fruit, right? You're not lacking. It's not a donut wine where the center is cut out of it. There's something there in its entirety. But there's a richness to this wine, right? And that's what I mean. This is not a soft little fluffy Chardonnay. It's not a searingly acidic Chardonnay. it's the perfect Chardonnay. It's everything that you want from Chardonnay. And this is, I mean, for me, Chardonnay is one of my favorite grapes. I love how it's made into this as well as sparkling wines. I love all of the different styles that Chardonnay can be. But for me, if I had to pick, one in particular, this is kind of it. In terms of winemaking, it did see some new French oak. Only about 20% of it was new. And interestingly, this also we talked about whole cluster Pinot a little bit in our episode with Louisa Ponzi, but we didn't talk about whole cluster Chardonnay. And interestingly, this is whole cluster. So you get a little bit of that sort of spiciness coming from those whole clusters, meaning they left those grapes on the actual cluster when they went to go and press it, which is really cool. So not a lot of winemakers working with whole cluster Chardonnay, but I love that they did that because it's really helping to give it a little bit of like something else. It's really helping to give it that spiciness, that interesting sort of subtle nuance to give something a little bit more wild underneath of it. In terms of food, I mean, I think you could be happy with a lot of different things. Chardonnay for me is a great chicken wine. So you can pick up your rotisserie chicken from the grocery store. You can make chicken at home. You could do a salad. You could do a salad with chicken, but I think you definitely want to keep it on the lighter side, but not so light that you don't have anything for that Chardonnay to work against. So make sure you have a little protein in there. If you're not doing animal protein, make sure you get some nice charred vegetables. Avocado would be great. A little tofu as well. So you definitely want some protein to latch onto because this is a more structured Chardonnay. This is a Chardonnay that I think wants something to work against and with, and it's going to do it really well if you let it. So don't go super light. You could also go the fish route, especially if you were doing something like halibut or a white meatier fish would be delicious with that. Nothing that you really need to stay away from other than be careful with like red sauces. Red sauces are really going to clash with this. I think this is a wine that really wants to stay with your lemony cream based sauces. So if you want to go the pasta route, lean in that direction. Save your red sauces for that Brunello di Montalcino. All right, you guys, I hope you love this wine as much as I do. I'm going to be talking more about it in the episode that we have not officially titled, but it's going to be something in the vicinity of I'm excited about. So we'll see you in that episode. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comments below.